Hi guys, and welcome to the Pet Quarter. In this video we are going to be answering the question, should we give our dogs chicken and rice if they have diarrhea? Obviously, and before we start the video, if your dog has an extreme bout of diarrhea and your dog is in severe discomfort, please take them to the vet. Do not rely on content online to answer your questions. If your dog is in distress, if your dog is really poorly, please check with your vet. Now, if your dog, like mine, sometimes every now and then will get a bit of diarrhea and we don't really know what's causing it, we will have been advised to give our dogs chicken and rice, to maybe fast the dog for 24 hours and then start introducing something of a bland diet. And to a certain extent, the advice is not incorrect. Chicken is a highly digestible source of protein, is a lean meat, and it's pretty beneficial for dogs and us humans anytime we have a bit of a bout with an icky tummy, as it were. The problem with this statement, and bear with me, is the rice portion. And a lot of vets and so many people rely on blanket advice and outdated nutrition advice for dogs. Why do I say that? Well, dogs do not have any requirements for rice in their diet. They actually have a pretty hard time digesting high glycemic carbohydrates. They are inflammatory and they do not add any nutritional value. Dogs make their own blood sugar from a process called gluconeogenesis, and that means that your dog makes their own blood sugar from protein and fats, from releasing protease and lipase through the pancreas and kidneys. They do not need any carbohydrates. So if your dog has diarrhea, giving them any rice or anything that's too inflammatory will only make the problem worse. So by all means, chicken is not a bad option. Whitefish is not a bad option. Something not as rich as lamb, for example. Lamb is a harder meat to digest. Same with beef. Beef is a harder meat to digest than chicken. So staying away from those rich meats and concentrating on leaner meats for the time being, if your dog is poorly, if your dog has a bit of a diarrhea bout, is very beneficial. Make sure your dog is well hydrated. Make sure your dog has access to water and monitor the dog is drinking plenty so that we know the dog is going to be okay. By all means, chicken, highly digestible protein, is a lean meat. Do not give the dog or try to stay away from high glycemic carbohydrates in your dog's diet, not just when they are poorly. Turn the bag of food over, and if you see any rice, any wheat, any barley, any corn, any soy, that could be a problem. That could be an indication that your dog is suffering from a lot of inflammation in their diet and is having bouts of gastrointestinal issues and runny poos and that sort of thing. Now, how long should you feed this chicken or this whitefish to our dog? Well, 2 to 3 days until the dog gets better, and then they can go back onto their food. It's not bad at all. You can also supplement their diet, if everything allows, with maybe a bit of natural yogurt. That will be a natural probiotic and it'll be beneficial for your dog. You could also add slippery elm, psyllium husk, natural psyllium husk, and a source of insoluble and a source of soluble fiber. Now, the problem with all these additions and all these supplements and all these things is that people just want to give the dog everything at once. They want to give the dog soluble fiber, insoluble fiber, a probiotic, this, that, and the other. If your dog has a bout of diarrhea, which is no more than 48, 72 hours, try to refrain from giving the dog too many things. But if the dog is getting better, trying to add a probiotic, for example, or trying to add a source of soluble fiber or insoluble fiber to your dog's diet, or upping the bone content in your dog's diet, could be beneficial for that added calcium. Always remember that the key and the answer is in the ingredients. The key is in the nutrition. If your dog is well fed, they will be less likely to have any bouts of diarrhea and any gastrointestinal issues. Always read the ingredients and make sure you do not get sucked into these blanket advice pieces you get of the chicken and rice, because rice does not provide any nutritional value for dogs. It's hard to digest and we do not recommend it for dogs. So there you have it. Should you give your dog rice and chicken for a dog with diarrhea? Some chicken, some whitefish. Make sure the dog is well hydrated, and let's not try to tamper with your dog's biological diet, biologically appropriate diet. They are meant to eat what they are meant to eat. Let's not try to tamper with that. I will see you in the next one.